All right, welcome back to AI Verdict. Today, we are looking at what could be a huge shakeup in the world of AI image generation. Google just dropped Nano Banana 2. It's the next version of their big flagship model. And listen, the claims they're making are pretty bold. They're saying it matches the quality of the current king, Nano Banana Pro, but it's way cheaper and a lot faster.
So that's the big question for this explainer, right? Did they actually do it? Is this the new king of AI image generation? Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to put those claims to the test.
Okay, so let's break down the matchup. In this corner, you've got Nano Banana Pro, which, let's be honest, has been pretty much the best image model out there. And in the other corner, you have the challenger, Nano Banana 2. It's promising all that same amazing quality, but it's supposed to be faster and cheaper. I mean, that's a really bold claim. Let's see if it actually holds water. All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, what is Nano Banana 2? Then we'll look at the 6 big promises Google is making. After that, we get to the good stuff, the test results. I'll also show you how you can try it yourself, and then we'll give you our final verdict. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is Nano Banana 2? Well, the core idea here is that it's a thinking model for images. Now, what does that mean? It means it's not just, taking a prompt and spitting out a picture. It actually works more like a large language model. It kind of thinks about the request before it generates anything.
And this is the secret sauce, the key differentiator. A thinking model in this case means it's hooked up to live Google search and image search. So it's not just stuck with whatever it was trained on months ago. No, it can pull completely current, real-time info right from the web. That is a huge deal for creating images about things that are happening right now.
Okay, so now that we know what it is, let's get into what Google claims it can do. They've laid out 6 core promises for this model. These are basically the benchmarks they set for themselves, so these are exactly what we're going to be testing. And here's the rundown. They're claiming advanced world knowledge, like a good grasp of physics, incredible text rendering and translation, really good subjects consistency so your characters don't get all wonky from picture to picture. It's supposed to follow your instructions to a T. It spits out production-grade 4K images right off the bat, no upscaler needed. And last but not least, just overall higher visual quality. So yeah, those are the 6 claims we're going to dig into. All right, this is the part you've been waiting for, the test results. We designed a bunch of experiments to hit every single one of those 6 promises. Let's see if Nano Banana 2 can actually walk the walk. First up, speed. We threw something pretty complex at it, a detailed 3-panel infographic comparing solid, liquid, and gas. Think about how long that would take a human designer. Hours, maybe? Well, Nano Banana 2 cranked it out in just 15 to 20 seconds. Yeah, that's an incredible start. Okay, next, let's test how well it follows orders. And we were super specific with this one. We asked for a social media ad and spelled out everything, the exact hex code for the background, the specific gradient, which we called a soft radial bloom, starting with cyan, moving to violet, and then ending in magenta. And wow, the result was just perfect. It totally nailed the hex colors, it got the gradient exactly right, the typography was on point, and it even respected the negative space we asked for. It followed every single tricky instruction we gave it. Seriously impressive. So what about that real-time knowledge claim? We put it to a serious test. We asked for a Spanish newspaper cover about a T20 World Cup match. The catch? The match had literally finished just a few hours earlier. And because it's tapped into Google search, it created a totally accurate and relevant cover. That's genuine up-to-the-minute awareness. Okay, the text rendering, honestly, it's just stunning. We gave it a Quran verse and asked for it in 2 different complex scripts, Arabic and Tamil, and it rendered both of them perfectly, not a single error. And it put them on top of this premium-looking gradient that might be one of the smoothest I've ever seen an AI produce. Just flawless. For image editing, we really wanted to push its built-in knowledge. We gave it a picture of a Tesla Cybertruck and said, okay, show us an exploded view of this. And using its search data, it did. It accurately pulled the truck apart, piece by piece, and correctly identified things like the panoramic glass roof and the yoke steering wheel. Amazing. Okay, now this next part is where things get really interesting, because you can actually see what they mean by a thinking process. We took a John Wick movie poster and just asked it to translate the title into Hindi. The translation was perfect, sure, but then it did something we didn't ask for. It voluntarily added this speckled filter to the new text just to match the texture of the rest of the poster. It understood the style and just replicated it. Wild. And it wasn't a one-off. We took it a step further.
We gave it an old vintage movie poster and asked for a full Hindi translation. It didn't just translate the big words, it translated everything, even tiny text like the studio logo, and it perfectly cloned the exact distinct fonts and styles from the original. This kind of style cloning is on another level. It's just unmatched.
Okay, so by now you're probably thinking, I want to try this. So let's quickly talk about how you can actually get your hands on it.
All right, so there are paid options on Google AI Studio and Vertex. But if you want to try it for free, here's what you do. Just go to gemini.google.com, start a new image generation, and if you see that little grid of effects pop up, with things like sketch or monochrome, that's the signal. That means you've got the new model. You're using Nano Banana 2.
So after all that testing, what's the final verdict? Is it actually worth all the hype? Did Google deliver on those big promises? Here's the bottom line. For certain types of work, especially professional level stuff, this model is absolutely the new leader of the pack. It's best in class when it comes to visual quality, that live Google search connection, its incredible text and translation skills, and its ability to follow really complex instructions. So let me put it this way. If what you do requires really high-quality text rendering or translation, or you need that Google search built right in, or you just need an AI that can handle a super detailed creative brief, then yeah, this is probably the best model out there for you right now. And that leaves us with one final thing to think about. I mean, the pace of this technology is just staggering, right? We've just seen what this one model can do. Instant infographics, perfect translations, even cloning artistic styles on its own. So the real question isn't just about the model anymore. It's about you. Now that AI can create images like this, what are you going to create?